it's Jason from Pro Guitar Studio. Today we're going to take a look at 6 intervals in the key of F sharp minor. Now you can also look at this in the key of A major because it's the relative major. If that's where you're more comfortable looking at this from, totally go for it. Both, as in terms of this lesson, we're not going to get too deep into the theory. So whatever way you want to think of it, F sharp minor, A major, all good to me. The notes are going to be the same. We're just talking about where that starting point is, like which chord we're sitting on. So in F sharp minor, this means our F sharp is our root note. A major, it means our A is the root note, okay? These are really, really cool. I use them in a variety of ways. Really a 6th interval, if you know much about theory, is what we'll call an inverted third interval, okay? So the building blocks of chords are third intervals. So an inverted third, this means we're taking that third interval. Let's say we're taking, as an example, A to C sharp. Okay, so we have those two notes. To invert it means we put the C sharp on the bottom instead of the top. So instead of going like this, we have this. Okay? So over the A chord, both those can sound really nice. So I find these to be very useful. It can be a little more interesting because the notes are further apart. Okay, so it's a bigger intervallic leap as opposed to being close together like a third interval. We are now 6 notes apart. But we can also look at these as inverted thirds because most of the time when you're using 6 intervals, especially in a melodic context, it's going to be an inverted third interval because 6 intervals by themselves don't sound as good unless you use them with a chord that might work with it. So, for example, if I play an A major chord and I play a 6, what we're essentially outlining there is an A6 chord. But if you played an inverted third on that C sharp note, we now are just highlighting that A chord. So depending on the genre you're doing, most likely you'll look at doing the inverted third. But in the end, as you play with it, you'll probably notice what sounds good to your ears without worrying about all that kind of theory stuff. Okay, so let's just dive right in here. And we're doing this in the key of A major. I'm not going to worry about showing you how to play this. We'll just take a look at the piece, showing how to play the 6 intervals, sorry. I'll just show you how to play the piece that we're looking at here. So I'm going to slide in. Most of these notes I'm giving a little slide to give it an interesting entrance. Sliding from, we'll say, G sharp to A on the 5th string. Now my dots aren't that visible here, so I'll try to make sure I outline exactly which fret I'm on as I'm going through. So going from 11 to 12 on the A string, and then we're playing the 11th fret on the 3rd string. Okay, so we're going to play this F sharp, so A to F sharp, and then we're going to come down 2 frets to the E, and we're going to play our G sharp, 11th fret on the A string. So 12, 11, 12, 11, 9, 11. And then we're going to come down to our F sharp, fret number 9 on the A string, to a D on the G string, which is fret number 7. So I'm going up 1, down the next, so the whole pattern here is based on that, okay? And I'm just changing the rhythm up. So D and then C sharp, E. So C sharp is 6 on the 3rd string, E is 7 on the A string, down to D, which is 5 on the A string, to B, which is 4 on the G string. Going to our A note, which is the 2nd fret on the G string. And then my phrase after that goes F sharp, E, F sharp, A. So 4 to 4 on the 4th string, and then 2 on the 3rd. I'm doing that twice in a row. So the timing is all about, this is all about the timing. So if I play just the notes, I mean, it doesn't end up at the same point as if I go like this. All right, so the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are all the same timing. And the next 2 are double speed. All right, so if we're calling these 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and then this on the 4 is 4 E and A, and we're going to go on the offbeat to the A. So speed up those to 16th notes when we get past this first 6 notes. All right, now we're going to go up to the same first interval, A to F sharp on the A string, so 12 on the A string, 11 on the G string, to 13 on the G string, which is G sharp, to a B, which is going to be fret number 14 on the A string. C sharp, which is fret number 16 on the A string, fret number 14 on the G string, which is an A. And then I'm going to play B, which is fret number 16, A, which is fret number 14, G sharp, fret number 13, to fret number 11, which is an F sharp. And I'm sort of jumping back there. You could do different fingers. It probably would be easier to play. In the video, I just think I just would. But yeah, if you did pinky, middle, index, index is a lot easier. And then I did the same kind of pattern as before. So I'd have this note here, F sharp, E, F sharp, just like that. We're playing A on string number 2, which is the 10th fret. So 11, 9, 11 to 10 on the second string. And then because the chord changes there to a C sharp minor, I play B, A, B, A, 12, 10, 12, 10. And that works out with the chords. Okay, so you have this. All right, so from the start, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Or even slower. So there you have it. Now the solo here, if we want to solo on top of it, it's all F sharp minor, F sharp natural minor, F sharp minor pentatonic. You can think of it as A major if you want to as well. So that's all that, if you're playing on top of that. And the reason why I'm doing it with that reggae feel is because of the offbeat sort of emphasis, and we can do some really cool syncopated rhythms. So a lot of fun to play with. As you go through this, like I said, I'm not going to show you the 6 intervals, just playing it up and down in the key of A, because that's sort of boring. But if you sort of look through that, we have these intervals like that. And this right here, the A note is the one I ended on. That is our root note, and our inverted third is the C sharp on the 5th string. Okay, so keep that in mind. This sort of right here on an A chord can sound pretty cool. Also on an F sharp minor, sounds great. So just so you can think about it, the key of A major. All right, so referencing the major scale, but we're using the relative minor as our chord base. But if you're looking at this, usually people will come to this from the 6 intervals or 3rd intervals, whatever the intervals might be, in a major scale first. Okay, so as we go through that, think of this in a nice, easy way. Don't try to overcomplicate it. Just try to get fun, have some fun with the groove that I did there. And if you want to dig further, try to lay out how those notes look when they're 6 notes apart. Okay, so any scale you want, as long as the notes are 6 notes apart, you can sort of line those up in the fretboard and see how you can play them.